What does it mean to be sustainable? The actual definition of sustainable is able to be maintained at a certain rate or level. Humanity, as we are, is not sustainable. We've dug ourselves into a hole that's going to be very hard to get out of. I learned all this when I became an environmental science minor at University of Nebraska at Omaha. So that put me on my path for what I want to do for a career. However, I'm not graduated yet, and I still want to take action. So in this podcast, we're going to follow my journey to create a sustainable household and how you can do it as well. This is Homestead Pending, and I'm your host, Hannah Wheelock. Hello there, and welcome back to the second episode of Homestead Pending. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about making eco-friendly household swaps. Eco-friendly household swapping basically means taking your normal consumption habits and products that you would normally buy and just switching to a more eco-friendly version of that. Household consumption alone contributes nearly 60% of global greenhouse gas emissions, including 50 to 80% natural resources use. Consumers' household purchase is responsible for 40% of environmental damage, and in most countries, household consumption over the life cycle of products accounts for more than 60% of all environmental impacts of consumption. Basically, it's looking at the little purchases that we make every day, and in our minds we think it's just me, this isn't going to contribute much, and we think it's the big businesses that are doing all the damage, which is correct in a certain way. However, I view it as if we change our purchase habits to support more eco-friendly products and eco-friendly businesses, businesses are going to follow the money. If that's what the demand is, they are going to supply it, and hence more businesses will turn to eco-friendly products and production practices. There are so many options now for eco-friendly products. You can find almost everywhere. There are small businesses you can purchase from, and even large ones you can find at Target, Walmart, Hy-Vee, all your big name stores as well. And almost every single product is going to have an eco-friendly version of it. So let's talk about the swaps that I've made in my life and in my household. Some of my swaps include reusable napkins instead of paper towels, bamboo toilet paper as opposed to regular toilet paper. I buy less cleaning products because most of your cleaning can be done with vinegar and baking soda, so that's what I try to use most of the time. I never buy paper plates or plastic silverware. I buy anything that I can take with me that's reusable. In my lunchbox, I have containers, I have a reusable coffee mug and a reusable water bottle. I even have silverware that I can take with me that is reusable. I also have reusable straws that I take with me when I try to go to Scooters or Starbucks. I try to use my reusable straws. For my cats, I made a switch to walnut litter instead of clay litter. I have reusable bags and totes to take with me for shopping, and I try to buy bar soap instead of liquid soap. Most of these habits were done over time. I didn't make all of these changes all at once. The toilet paper my boyfriend's mom had bought for us because we use a subscription service, and that worked really well for us, so we just kept doing that. So that wasn't even an intentional swap. Reusable napkins, I bought some on Etsy a little while before we moved. The less cleaning products I've only started doing recently. For a while I was buying the ones that are labeled as more eco-friendly and are more eco-friendly than the generic brands and the regular brands. But recently I've tried just using vinegar and baking soda, like I said, for most of my household cleaning. The no paper plates and plastic silverware has been an ongoing thing. I don't believe I've ever bought paper plates or plastic silverware, with the exception of when we get food to go. Sometimes I try to say no silverware, but that doesn't always happen. Walnut litter for my cats that one took me a while to make the switch just because I was worried about how they would react to it, and I did a lot of research over which was the best switch. I'm still not entirely sure if walnut litter was the best one. I might try a different one. They've reacted to it well. I just might explore other options. Reusable bags, that one we switched to maybe about 6 months ago, tried to start doing that more. And bar soap, I kind of fell into, I was getting gifted bar soaps, and so I had built up kind of a collection of them, so I started using those more and found that I liked using the bar soaps, so I continued purchasing those, and those continue to work well for our household. I do use liquid soap in the kitchen, but in the bathrooms it's all bar soaps. So out of all these swaps that I've made and said I've committed to, which ones have actually worked out for us? While I did buy reusable napkins, we still do purchase paper towels, and admittedly, we probably use the paper towels more often than the reusable napkins. They're just easier, and I guess the thought of dirtying a cloth is harder for us than something we can just throw in the garbage, which I think is a mental thing we kind of just have to push past. The toilet paper, like I've said, that's all that we've used. It's no different, and we just order a box of it and stock up on it, so that's been a really easy switch, and I don't see it as being much more expensive. It hasn't hurt us to buy a whole box of it. Using vinegar and baking soda for cleaning can be difficult because I feel like I don't always get a thorough clean. Sometimes it makes me feel like I'm not getting as deep as I need to. So, and definitely for the bathrooms, I still do buy cleaning products. I try to buy the eco-friendly versions of them, but sometimes I end up just getting whatever is cheapest, whatever is most convenient for me. With single-use silverware, like I said, we still do get that in to-go orders a lot, so we've built up a collection of them in the kitchen that we try to use when we're going, like making our lunches or going out, but it still does hurt to have those and know that we are using them. The kitty litter, like I said, the cats have taken to it really well. They don't have an issue with it. It works just the same as clay litter. Like I said, I may explore other options, but that one has worked really well for us. Using our reusable bags for shopping has been hard because we often forget them and we get to the store and realize that we forgot them. We do try to ask for paper a lot, but I know sometimes the people at the stores don't always like that when you're buying a lot of stuff, so I feel guilty. And we'll say plastic, but I do use the plastic bags for when I'm scooping the kitty litter, so I try to use it for something. And then the bar soaps have been a really easy switch for us. We don't have a problem with them as opposed to liquid soaps and a pump. I will continue to use liquid in the kitchen. Just the idea of a bar sitting and building up like food bacteria kind of grosses me out. I don't know if a pump is really any better. That's just kind of where my mind goes. So I would say about half of them have been successful swaps for us. The other half have been either unsuccessful or are still works in progress. Once we probably master all of those, there are some swaps that I still would like to make here in the household. First is beeswax wraps. These are single square pieces of basically paper surrounded in beeswax that you can use to wrap leftovers, wrap food, and it works kind of like plastic wrap or tin foil, and they are reusable. They can be washed and they don't tear really easily. Those can be used over and over. Similarly, I would like to get the reusable baggies, the silicone or rubber ones that you can get to store your leftovers rather than regular Ziploc or plastic bags. We burn a lot of candles and use a lot of wax melts, so I would love to switch to a soy or beeswax version of those so that there's not as many chemicals contributing to a lot of air pollution. And the last big one that probably won't happen for a while, but I would love to have an electric car. Like I said, that may not happen for a while just because I can't afford a car in general, but once I do get a new car, I'd like to see if I can find a used electric car, because a lot of electric cars are, because they're becoming more available on the market, many of them meet the same price as a similar gas car. So that's been my experience and my take on eco-friendly household swaps. I know the biggest holdup for a lot of people is that the eco-friendly swaps can be a little bit more expensive. I have noticed that, and that's what's held me back sometimes. However, there are a lot of eco-friendly swaps that may actually save you money. So many things that you can make at home and DIY will save you a lot of money because you use the same ingredients for a lot of things. Like I said, a lot of cleaning can be done with just baking soda and vinegar mixed with other things. You can make a lot of different types of cleaning products. So I hope next time you're at the store looking to buy something, look a little more in the aisle, see if you can find an eco-friendly swap, and just give it a shot if you can afford it, obviously, or look up a DIY you can do at home if you don't have any. Say you need to wipe down your counters and you don't have any Clorox wipes, get out some vinegar and spray it on your counter, wipe it down, see how you like it. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed. I hope this inspired you to take some action. If not, I hope it was very informative for you. Come join us next time in the next episode of Homestead Pending. I'm Hannah Wheelock. Thank you.